Hey guys, so this is another video and it's going to be about forgiveness, the things I've done to find forgiveness. I'm still very much on my way, on my pathway to forgiveness, but these things have helped me immensely and I hope that they will help someone else. And then if not, it's just me solidifying the things that I've learned in these past couple of months. So the first thing that I would say I started doing that I liked was I bought a course from Mina Irfan. She's here on YouTube, and in one of her courses, she has a forgiveness meditation. And what you do is you imagine the person sitting in one seat and saying to them, "I forgive you. Do you forgive me?" And I started doing that every time this person would pop up in my mind. I would go, "I forgive you. Do you forgive me? I forgive you. Do you forgive me?" until until they left. And that was a really, really nice first step. And then when they kept coming up, eventually later, maybe like weeks or something, then I transitioned to um, when I felt like I'm having trouble letting go, then I would say something like, "If you really are who I think you are, you'll come back." And then I let it go. And then I have nothing to obsess over. If you are who I think you are, you'll come back. And then I left it at that. And then other times, the thoughts were more negative, more intense. So then I took a more stern approach and I said, "You're not welcome to wander in my thoughts anymore." Right? So I'm not closing them out of my life, but I'm saying, "You're not welcome to wander in and out of my thoughts and play on my emotions like you've been doing." Right? So it all just depended on what I felt I needed in the moment to really just get that person out and really stop getting in a situation where I'm thinking about past things and I'm re-traumatizing myself in my mind. And so there's a spiritual teacher that Mina also suggested, Eckhart Tolle, and he talks about being present in the now. And so, something bad happened to me months ago, years, whatever, however long ago it happened to you, right? But where's the unhappiness right now? Where is it right now? And that's another way that you can really focus on forgiveness and and being at peace. It's just focusing on what's in your presence right now. And so the next thing that I would say was a really big game changer also came from Eckhart Tolle. And in his book, The Power of Now, he talks about how people have egos and they're ruled by their egos and you don't even realize. And you self identify with the ego and you think that that is who you are. And it's not, it's an ego. And once you figure out how to de identify from the ego, once I figured out that I am not my ego and that that's kind of like a different entity that I have control over, that I can observe, and it's not me, all of a sudden the forgiveness for other people came a lot easier, because then I could think back and I could really make sense of why some of the things just seemed so crazy. Like, didn't even seem like the person I knew, didn't seem like the person I loved, didn't seem like the person that I agreed to be with or fantasized about, whatever, however you want to say it. It's because it was their ego, it wasn't them. And that's why it can get so rocky and confusing, because when they're responding out of ego, it can be so vicious and so nasty, right? And then it can make you respond out of ego, or maybe you respond out of ego first, and then it's just this vicious cycle. So, and then when that's done, when everyone's out of their ego, then maybe if they're a little bit conscious, then you come back to consciousness and go, "Oh, I'm so sorry," whatever, whatever. Or, you just kind of tuck it away and you don't even realize that that's not you. And sometimes I think men can be a little bit more forgetful in general, but sometimes like things were just said to me that I thought were really mean, and then for the person to not even remember. I was like, I'm that insignificant that you don't even remember like some of the stuff you said to me. And I think it was just them reacting out of their ego and not really having control over their senses, over their words, over their emotions. And so it's just easier to forget, it's easier to lose it. And that has really been a game changer for me because I can find myself thinking back a little bit more often, but there's much less of that negative charged emotion. And if anything, I often catch myself feeling bad that I didn't know this information before. And then it comes back to, okay, let's come back to the now. Like, it happened. I can't do anything about it. But what can I do now? Which is, it's a, a great life motto to have. And another thing, the final thing that I have started to do is kind of incorporating some spiritual practice into that. So I'm not a spiritual person, I'm more of a logical person. Um, but I do believe in science and research, and it shows that people who believe in something, oftentimes they're happier, they have greater feelings of community, and just all these signifiers that are really important to the human experience. And does that mean that their religion is real or the God that they believe in is necessarily real? I don't know, but it's real to them and it works for them. So me adding a spiritual practice is more like mind hacking to me. So what I did was I went to, you can literally go to Dollar Tree for $1.25, get the incense that they have, and they have ones that's supposed to purify your space. And then you can get a little candle and it has like prayer of Jesus or prayer something. And then you can purify your space and you can pray over your space. And I started to do that. And I would declare over my space that I get to have peace and love and joy. May all those who inhabit this place feel nothing but peace, love, and joy. May you live in the present. May your wandering thoughts vanish. Like, I just keep going with mantras and stuff like that. And I walk my whole space, every once in a while, whenever I feel like it, whenever I feel like I need it. And if I feel like if you're really struggling with forgiveness, doing these things often and giving yourself the chance to really immerse in these techniques could be very helpful in the future. And it's even, as a matter of fact, carried over to other things, especially the stuff about the ego. Like, I went on a date recently, and I feel like I triggered the guy's ego by saying I don't usually exchange phone numbers with guys without getting to know them first. And not really liking when I don't like it when guys ask me, do I live alone? And I don't know them yet. Because I'm like, why are you asking that? It's kind of creepy. But I think that triggered his ego because he's like taking it as a personal attack on him that he's not safe, or maybe he's a shady guy and he's like, I'm a stand-up guy. I've never had a speeding ticket. Just all of this stuff. And I feel like it quickly snowballed into the whole conversation kind of being surrounded by an ego vibe. And saying stuff like, would your man be able to wake you up at 3 a.m. to make a sandwich? Or do you know how to take care of a home? Or do you know how to take care of do you know how to cook? But in almost like a little bit of a condescending way. And that like women, they only want providers, but let a man want a provider, and da 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 da, and time is money, and just complaining about how he's wasted his time on dates in the past, and how much he doesn't like that. And he chose the date that we went on the day, and he got called into work, and just talking about how much money he was missing out on because he has to leave work early to come on this date that we mutually agreed upon. And sure, in those moments my ego wanted to be like, I drove an hour to see you, I'm gonna have to drive an hour back to where I live at for this date, right? But then, as Mina would say, it's just two egos snapping back and forth at each other, and you get nowhere. So I just said thank you for taking off work early and making this date happen. And I tried my best to not let my ego do too much of the talking. And she was there sometimes. She was trying to talk sometimes. And like ask like little pressing questions that I didn't need to ask. But I just really feel like, yeah, those are the things that I have been employing. Those are the things that have worked for me. I love that I'm seeing it in other places in my life, that I can be a more calm, in control kind of person, even if maybe I feel like I'm being goaded, or my ego is feeling a little poked, however you want to say it. So I hope this was helpful to someone out there, and if not, it was always helpful to me to kind of reflect back on what's been working anyways. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.